Guys, that was Knock on Wood by Eddie Floyd, and I knew of this song before the grade presented it to me, but I didn't know about the artist or anything like that. So Eddie Floyd, probably an amazing musician. I should probably look into him a little bit more. But anyway, the song itself is a soul song, and I would be lying to you if I told you that I played it once and got it right, because it's a little bit tricky, and you couldn't call it difficult, but it is tricky, and it does take a couple of plays to get comfortable with it. So we open up with a nice strong crash on the very first beat. So you got a 2-bar count in, and it's busy on the bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So those first 2 bars is a 2-bar phrase, should be practiced as such. So just stick on those 2 bars and play them until you're comfortable with them, and at that slow tempo, or even slower if you need to. The following bar has a fill at the end of it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So that's tricky enough. So those bar 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. Do not play on the 1 of the 4th bar. It is rested. It's in the and that it comes in. And some people might be thrown off by the fact that there's a second crash on that 4th bar, but it's tied to the first one. When you have a second crash there, when you see a tie, you only play the first one. The second one, it's to ring out over that space, but it's not to be played on. So don't fall into the trap of going and 2, because that's not the way it's supposed to be played. Okay, so our verse comes in on bar 5, and it's pretty straight. Nice closed hi-hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You're going to get this bar repeating itself for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay? And then on 12, we have a very similar bar, less bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but add an open hi-hat on that and. Closing tight on the first beat of 13, which is the next bar. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. That bar repeating itself again. This is the same one that started at bar 5, so 13, 14, 15, 16. And then we have a variation at 17 where we're getting into the pre-chorus. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That was 17 and 18. Same again for 19 and 20. And then on 21 it goes 1 and 2 and 3. With accents. See those little sideway V's over the notes? They're accents. They want them played loud and sharp. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Rest on the 4. And we're into chorus. The top of the second page. With a nice sharp crash. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You'll recognize that from the very first 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So you got, that is the start of that line is 22, then 3, 3. So 24 is 1 and 2 and, like normal. Then you got 3 and 4 and. Okay? Pretty straightforward, but you followed up on the next bar with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So played in a row, sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. Okay? At that point, we're into an instrumental. That's 26, and it's marked A, because at the end of this, we have a repeat that pushes us all the way back to bar 5. And when we come back to 25, we don't play 26A. We jump down to the next line, which is the outro, 26B. So this is the one and only time we're going to play this line, and it's going to play with P, which stands for piano, which is quiet, bass drum, snare drum, and hi-hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the bass drum's only on 1, and you got snare and hats on 2, 3, 4. Bass drum again on the next one. 1, 2, 3, slightly louder. Bass drum again on the next one, slightly louder. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 40 at that stage, and then you got bass drum, snare drum, and hats. 1, rest on 2, 3, rest on 4. Okay, that line, it's pretty simple, but you got to be ready to come down in volume at the 26. slightly more on 27, more again on the 28, and then forte loud on 29. Okay, that pushes us straight back to bar 5 at that stage because our repeat ends there. It started at bar 5, it ends at bar, what would that be, 26, 27, 20, 29. So the end of the second last line is where you see those double line double dots that puts us back to bar 5. That makes us play from bar 5 all the way down to bar 25, the end of the first line on the second page. And then we've got our outro, which is crash straight over to the right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, and sorry, that's at the end. That's the same rhythm that we would have played before, except on the right cymbal. Don't forget to move to the right for that. And then we got our fill. It's very similar to the bar 3 fill, except on the right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So you got a crash on the and of 4, rest on 1, crash on the and of 1, rest on 2, crash on the and of 2, rest on 3, crash on the and of 3, tied into 4, so you don't play 4, and then you have a closed hi-hat and a bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the end of the piece. It's very, very right or wrong. It's black or white. There's no middle ground on this, so you're going to have to practice that a lot to get it nice and clean. I had fun playing it. I think you guys will have fun playing it too. If you're into soul, this is going to be your jam. And I'm not sure what else to say about it. I mean, my description of it was long because there's a lot going on there. For grade 2, they're not messing about, you know. So this is a piece that's going to slow you down a little bit. If you're eager to play along to the backing track, please take your time in doing that. Make sure you've practiced the bars and you're comfortable with them before you push yourself into backing track territory and force yourself to make mistakes. You don't really want to be in that neighborhood with this. So take your time with it, have some fun with it, take it line by line if you need to. Guys, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what you think of the video. If you have any suggestions for stuff you'd like me to cover, I'm going to try and keep doing more of these rock and pop syllabus videos, but if there's something else you'd like me to talk about, let me know. Thanks for watching this far if you have, and I'll see you guys in the next video.